Have you ever experienced a moment when someone's belief in you changed everything? Or wonder how their belief in you can fuel resilience in the face of adversity? What if their belief in you could even defy the expectations of the most skeptical experts? And can one father's unwavering faith defy medical odds and transform his daughter's life? Are you ready to explore the extraordinary power of belief and its ability to defy all odds? Join me after the intro for a conversation with a very special friend with whom we will answer these and many more questions. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's start. Hi, I'm Rosanna D, and this is Forgive and Thrive, a podcast where we explore what thriving in life means and how we can achieve it, irrespective of our past, current condition, and expectations that those around us or society in general may have. Let's go. Welcome to the Forgive and Thrive show. I was recently scrolling on social media and I saw a post of a Paralympic double amputee gymnast doing wonderful exercises. And the text said, "The sky is not the limit. Your mind and belief are." We have talked many times about the power of our mind and how the beliefs we hold can make or break us. They can elevate us to unimaginable heights or become a showstopper for us to become the person we were always meant to be. But what about the mind and beliefs of someone who loves us to the moon and back? What can we achieve by borrowing someone else's beliefs in us when we and everyone else don't give us any hope? In a world often overshadowed by uncertainty and skepticism, belief can be a force that can defy the odds, transcend limitations, and ignite the flames of resilience. So today we want to dive into the heart of a remarkable story, exploring the transformative power of belief and its profound impact on the human experience. We unravel the layers of doubts, expectations, resilience, hope, dreams, and triumph that define the extraordinary journey of our guest, Nichola Zacher. Nichola was born with no soft spot in her skull. So when she was 2 weeks old, she had a shunt put in her skull. The doctors told her parents that she would be a vegetable and never go to school. Her dad said, "You are wrong. I will protect her and she will be all right." In school, her teacher put her desk in the hall, saying, "I cannot teach her." So her parents paid for her to go to a private school. She went to high school and later to college. Today, she is an author and has written 6 children's books. Hi, Nichola. Welcome to the Forgive and Try show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. It is my honor to be on your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I would love to start our conversation from you because you have quite a story to tell the world. Can we start from?
Yes, I do. Thank you. It brought tears to my eyes just listening to the introduction. So I'd like to start with my story. And you're exactly right. It was very well said, saying that you can achieve anything when someone loves you to the moon and back, because that describes my dad perfectly. You know, he assured me every day how much he loved me and how protective and proud he was of me. And that's helped me with all my books because of that love. That still continues today. And I share that love with everybody through the books. And that's why they're so personal and why I'm so proud. So that is an amazing and a miracle story. And it's still a miracle that I'm able to achieve everything through all the hurdles that I face. God has blessed me, and my dad is watching over me every day. And so when I was 2 weeks old, we did the surgery, and it was the first time that it had ever been done at that hospital. Now it's been done numerous times. And my parents had to protect me because, I was so little and my skull was cut open. So they really had to watch over me closely so I didn't get sick. And I'm healthy as a horse, as my mom would always say. That's an English expression. And I never had any health issues. I was very fortunate. And going to school, I went to school in Toronto, and I took a train and a subway and a bus. I had to get on the train. My parents had to put me on the train at 6 a.m. And we did that for a year. So that was quite an ordeal. And I will always be grateful to them for that, because that was a big commitment. And I really soared in that school, and it helped me to be able to go to high school. And even yesterday, I went to return the puppets because I just did a puppet show. And it actually was where I grew up for 15 years. And all those memories, came back to me of all the years of schooling and how much I've achieved since then. And after the school, I went to high school after the school in Toronto, and then I was able to go to college in Toronto, just outside of Toronto. And I lived with my sister and took night courses, and then I was babysitting my nephews during the day and was able to get my ECE. And then I started teaching in the daycares. And the last daycare I taught at was a daycare in the hospital here in London, Ontario. And that was an amazing experience. And then after that, my dad was diagnosed with dementia, and that's when I stayed home and took care of him full time. And I had started the books at that time too. And so he was aware of the books and encouraged me, and he enjoyed doing the author visits. We went and met with my local mayor here, our local mayor, and the mayor in London, and he enjoyed doing all that. So I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to do some of that with him. Yes.
It's a beautiful story because it started with your dad taking care of you and giving hope for your life when nobody else had it, not even
Right.
the doctors.
Yes.
And then you ended
Yes.
up taking care of him later on. So it was almost you came all the way in circle, right?
Yes, full circle. Yes, I took care of him for 4 years. And that's what I share with the children when I do the author visits, that, if you have someone that believes in you and loves you to the moon and back, you will achieve those goals.
Mm. It's very difficult. I mean, what your parents and your dad in particular did, it's very difficult to do because most of us, I would argue, don't really have, for example, a medical education.
Right.
So sometimes challenging the authority, challenging the experts, it's tough. It's really, really hard. What do you think about it?
Yes, that's very true, because we're always taught to believe and have confidence in doctors and what they say, but I think you always have to think about what they're saying. You have to think about how you're feeling. You have to listen to your heart. In this case, I believe my parents listened to their heart, and they knew that I needed to be protected. And, they did that. And my dad was strong enough to say, no, you're wrong, because that does take a lot to tell a doctor that they're wrong. But he was definitely listening to his heart.
I was growing up because I mentioned that, for example, in school, even a teacher refused to teach you, and then
Yes,
parents had to pay for private schools. So,
yes.
how was growing up with the other people? Was everywhere like that? There was little understanding, little compassion, or there were just a few situations, a few cases?
Yes, they were very difficult times with the teachers sometimes, especially my first teacher putting me out in the hallway, and my mom put a stop to that, thank goodness. But the private school, obviously you're paying money, so, there is a little more expectation, I think, when you're paying for, to be educated, but they were paying for me to be educated. So there's that expectation. Actually, the government had a program that they paid for me, but my parents paid for other private schools. And I didn't have that issue there. They're very supportive and caring. And yes, other than that, first experience with schools, I was able to get along very well with the teachers. I love them and they love me. And I think like any child, you go through bullying, though, there's always challenges with kids. Kids can be difficult and mean sometimes. But I had a lot of support. I had a lot of support from my family, so that helped get through those times. And, we had a cottage, so since I was like 2 till the age of 15, so I was there every weekend with my parents. So that was nice. It's nice if you have, a loving, supportive environment. I think that helps a lot, even if it means pitching a tent in the backyard. If you're in the backyard with your children in a tent, that's great for them. Like I know some of my neighbors are doing tents and they put up a screen so they can watch movies in the backyard, and you just have to be creative sometimes because I know financially it's challenging times right now. Even doing something like that is a lot of fun, and it's the memory that the children will hold on to forever.
Mm. How can we support really those that are facing a difficult diagnosis, for example, that are struggling to get better in the last few years, for example, especially since we had the pandemic, there is quite a lot of talking, for example, about mental health. People struggle every single day. What would you say to those people?
I would say cherish those special moments. Like, even if it means just getting an ice cream from McDonald's, they're very reasonable, but it's still a little treat. My dad loves the ice cream from McDonald's. So we would have an ice cream. He would eat the ice cream. I would have a tea. He didn't have to worry about calories. And I cherish those moments. It's something very simple, but it was a treat. And you just enjoy that treat and you savor that moment, And if you try doing little things like that, even though it might seem like, oh, that's just a little thing. I want a trip to New York or a trip to Paris but if you keep doing those little things, that will build up and that will help you feel better, and then you'll eventually see bigger things. It's like anything, it starts off small. So you start off doing small things, and that just gives you the hope and the confidence and, the well-being that you need to achieve other great goals.
And if you had parents, if those that are struggling are actually children, like it was you many years ago,
Yes.
what would you advise those parents? What would you tell them?
My neighbor has a son that has challenges. And when he comes over, I just embrace him and give him so much love. And I can see his mom's face just light up when I, spend time with him. And I think that's a big part of it, is just having that support from somebody else and somebody else recognizing that your son is special, and he is lovable. And because sometimes you feel alone, like when you're facing a challenge with your child. But if somebody else is there to say, your child is special, that helps a lot. And I just try and listen to her, when she's having a difficult day. And, would talk about when she first heard that her child was going to be having some difficulties from the doctor. And she said, it's overwhelming and it's scary. And I said, yes, those are all very real feelings. And I'm sure it was. But now, you have a handsome son and he's amazing. And just reassurance and acceptance. So if you can find that with the people around you, then stick with those people. That's good.
Oh, so very true, because every challenge, especially health challenges, can be very,
Yes.
we feel very, very alone.
Yes.
The truth is, we are not alone. There
Right.
is definitely someone else that perhaps is struggling like us. So that
Yes.
helps as a concept, as an idea. So
Definitely.
and creating that support system as well. So I think
Yes.
that is also very important, especially when there are conditions that are, like, for example, in your case, that are very difficult perhaps to diagnose. There are many cases then having people around, it's good, even for just for a chat, isn't it?
Right. Yes, absolutely. And I always share the message that unconditional love, that, you need to provide unconditional love for your child, because that's what my dad shared with me. I knew that, no matter how many bad days I had at school, or not that I never had behavior issues, but if there was any issues that every parent faces when educating their child, that I was still loved, that he still believed in me always. No matter what I faced, I was never afraid to tell him anything. So your child, if you can give that to your child, then you're going to help them succeed. And I think that just realizing that there is no perfect child, there is no perfect family.
Yeah. Based on your story, how do you navigate today situations where you have a very strong belief that differs from those of expert or doctors, for example? How your story has changed your perception?
You know, I think it has, because I'm very open to trying different things. For instance, with my health, I'm very healthy, but I always try and follow natural ways to keep healthy. And, I have a friend that is in selling her own soaps that are natural, and they've helped me a lot, and I talked to my doctor and I said, can we try an alternative methods for, keeping healthy? And he's open to that. And so I think that's helped me from being a young child, and not afraid to ask the doctor or talk to him about alternatives.
Mm. I suppose
And
a strong feeling on your side, but then you also need the support on the other side, or someone
yes,
understand and appreciate your need to go.
right. Yes, exactly.
Mm-mm.
Yes. Or if, I'm finding someone is challenging when doing business, I will say, well, can we try it this way? Or can I talk to somebody else? And I usually have success.
Mm. If you had your younger version of yourself, the little Nicola who was
Yes.
recovering, from surgeries and had perhaps bad experiences with other children, the very first teacher, what would you tell her?
I would say to be around people that love and support you. Through that unconditional love that my dad provided, I believed in myself, and then I shared that love with other people, and they supported me, and that helped me grow and believe in myself and be able to achieve, my early childhood and working in a daycare. And it all started with love, unconditional love. And then I shared that with many children.
And talking about the children, you have become a writer. You have written,
Yes.
I believe, 6 or 7 different books. What sort of message do you want to pass, or lesson perhaps do you want to pass to the children through those stories?
When I share my books with the children, and it all comes back from when I was a baby, and I say to them, Marley is my puppy, and I'm sharing the stories with Marley because Marley shares unconditional love. Marley loves you unconditionally. Marley reminds me of that every day. She runs up to everybody and gives them love and kisses, and she doesn't judge. She's not critical of me or anyone else. And that's what I share with the children.
So, can we say what a child needs to thrive later in life as an adult is unconditional love, support, and lack of judgment? That
Yes.
summarizes your idea, your concept.
Yes.
Is there anything else or anything specific that you would like to share with us?
To keep sharing that message of love, and it will grow bigger and bigger in your life.
Is there another book coming for the children?
There is a new book about Marley's feelings, and it shares unconditional love, and it shares how Marley has anxiety, and a book that everybody can relate to in their feelings.
How do you explain anxiety to children?
Marley, I have pictures of Marley, and I think through the pictures, children will be able to understand those feelings because they can see the pictures where Marley is anxious or Marley is angry or Marley is sad or Marley is happy. And by looking at the picture, then they can see, well, that's how I feel. So they will understand anxiety that way.
It's so important for children to start recognizing those feelings and to give a name to them so they can
Yes.
call each of them. That's extremely nice what you're doing. So if perhaps our listeners had children and they would like to know more about your books, for example, or your story of unconditional love and hope, where can they find you?
They can find me on Amazon. My first book is on there, Marley's Dream Love, and my other books, or they can find me on Marley's Facebook page, Marley's Dream Love, or my Facebook page, Nichola Zacher.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on Instagram. Yes. So please reach out. We love to chat. Lots of Marley's followers chat with me and Marley.
And I reckon that in Canada, where you live near Toronto, you probably go around and visit, I don't know, schools perhaps as well, and you can do a little bit of reading.
Oh yes, Marley's very well known. Yes. I can't go many places without Marley because they question where Marley is.
Oh, children get so attached to pets and especially dogs and cats. They are so lovely with them. So, is there anything, perhaps one take-home message that you would love to leave all our listeners?
To just listen to your heart and share that love with your children and your families. And there's always room for love, no matter what you face.
Beautiful. Well, as we reflect on this journey, let's carry forth the lesson learned about the importance of believing in ourselves and believing in others, even when the odds seem unsurmountable. Because as Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Nicola, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and for sharing about your life story, what happened to you, and your mission that you have with others to educate children about love and all the feelings. I think it's extremely important to do so. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, we would love to know what you think about this topic. Did you ever experience a situation where someone's belief in you changed everything? If so, let us know. But if you are facing challenges right now, don't give up. Think about Nicola's story, and perhaps if you look carefully, you will find someone standing by your side who believes in you and what you can be, do, and achieve. And if you want to know more about Nicola, don't forget to check her website. Gift one of her books to a child in your life and follow her on social media. You will find all the links in the description of today's episode. Join me next time when we will continue exploring inspiring and challenging situations. Because remember, we are together in this journey. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this content, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell and like this video. See you in the next one.